Hello there, friends. So we are heading into the full moon on Tuesday, the 7th of March, tomorrow. And we are heading into Saturn in Pisces, which is a major shift of energy for the next 3 years. I'm looking forward to it. I know what it's about, and I will tell you to the best of my ability what to expect. Um, to me, Saturn and Aquarius, the last 3 years, have a certain sort of harshness to it because Saturn is already very sort of tough. It'll crack the whip. It'll make you feel sort of stuck and pushed in a corner in order to learn something. And we all need those periods of time, but they're hard, right? So if we think about the pandemic, no matter what you think of the pandemic or where you stand on any of it, we were all forced into a very unusual Aquarian situation that forced us to learn something by restricting our freedom, our movement, our rights, restricting, putting pressure on who is your tribe? Who do you align with? What do you believe? Who shares your ideas, ideology? Who's your group? And we definitely saw that. So Saturn in Pisces is going to come along. And the worst side of it is that people will feel more disconnected and lonely or realize that they feel that way. There will be spiritual crises. That doesn't mean religious. That means, why am I here? What's the point of life? What's meaningful to me? Who shares those meaningful values? Or am I all alone? That's the hard side of Saturn Pisces. Because Saturn and Pisces, the ultimate lesson is to learn that we are all one. How do you create a lesson that we are all one? You would think a pandemic would let people know we are all one because one virus touched the whole world. That would prove that we're all one, isn't it? But no, it didn't do that. So what other scenarios, what other circumstances would show us that we are all one? Well, I think because it's in Pisces, it's going to mean people are seeking emotional comfort, spiritual comfort. They're going to need more compassion, sensitivity, intuition, room for all kinds of mental states, whether it's inspired or distorted or foggy or vague or creative or genius. Pisces runs the whole gamut. We're going to have to really look at how a lot of people are very, very, very different, but we're still all one race and we're still all on one planet together. So the lessons of oneness, the sooner you can get to a point where you believe, agree, or see oneness amongst everyone. And it doesn't mean perfection, but you have to feel a sense of oneness. Then you've learned the lesson of Saturn and Pisces. And oneness is a beautiful lesson. Much easier than the lessons of Saturn and Aquarius, which is like, that's your group and that's mine and that's, Pisces brings it all together and it looks like one big blurb or something, but it does come together. So I think there's going to be a lot more people seeking support, healing, therapy. It's going to be a lot more people also seeking relationship to connect again. And so we all have maybe hurdles to overcome and how to do that again after all the trauma that we had previously and then that the pandemic loaded on top of that. So it can be an amazing time of healing over the next 3 years. Let's take a look at our chart for this full moon. All right. So they call it a worm moon, I guess, because if you're not in a freezing cold climate like I am here in Montreal, then the worms will come out, the earthworms will come out at the beginning of spring, sort of. I'm not sure why it's a warm moon, but that would be my guess. We're not seeing any of those yet. There's no early birds and worms here in Montreal. So once again, we have that moon at 16 degrees. Crazy how that's been happening over and over and over. I think there's going to be there's either one or two more full moons, fuller new moons that are going to be on the 16-degree mark before we switch. So our moon is way over here alone in Virgo in the 6th house. Moon in Virgo in the 6th house, very happy there. It's Virgo rules the 6th house, and it's all about healing and organizing things and purifying things and, you know, organizing and cooking and preserving stuff and planting stuff and using anything natural or holistic, preventative medicine. So I like that the moon is in the 6th house right now. This can be a great moon for anyone who's trying to achieve any level of healing on your, this can be emotional or physical. It can also be a great moon for anybody that's trying to just get things all tidied up and in order. Now, if we look, of course, there's many planets opposing it, many. So the overall message, though, is that the moon in Virgo needs a little bit of space, and it needs to like have time to go, okay, that is that, and that is this, and that is this, and that's that. Okay, based on what I see now, this is the plan that I'm going to use to do that. If it's with your health, the moon in Virgo needs to like maybe pull back, rest, meditate, detox, eat really clean, see a naturopath if you want, see your acupuncturist, or even see your doctor if your doctor is open. Well, of course, see your doctor. I'm not saying don't see a doctor. I'm just saying Virgo, you know, tends to go towards the herbal and the you know, the natural or the holistic healing versus, but it can certainly see your doctors as well. But Virgo is like the moon is like there's a need to just step back and put things in order. So if you need to do that during this full moon, then please do. So the chart is, as usual, it's cast for New York or for the Eastern time zone. So that's why we have an Aries as the rising for this moon. And then look at this cluster of planets in the 12th house. So that's where it gets a little tougher. We might be a little more aware of the Virgo energy. Maybe you're already in the mood to like, let's just go and gut out this closet and clean things up. Or let's just take that extra time and do those few extra details because now I have the energy and the mental headspace for it. Let's just do the taxes. Let's just, you know, do that little extra bit of scrubbing and cleaning the windowsills that I normally ignore. Let's do a little bit of extra research or reading on that supplement that I'm thinking of taking, or that diet plan that I want to do, or my gym routine. Let's just get granular with that and really think about what I need and how I'm going to get healthier. That's what the moon in Virgo is all about, this full moon. What's pulling us away from it is all the Pisces planets, but they're all in the 12th house. So that creates an interesting dynamic. So first of all, Saturn, as you see, 29 degrees, 59 seconds, literally like 1 second away, this full moon, from Saturn entering Pisces. Mercury is also in Pisces at 7 degrees, and it's opposing the moon. Mercury in the 12th house, most of your communication is going to be intuitive, maybe even psychic. maybe a lot of dreams. You might not be inclined to talk. You might feel like, yes, nothing to say. Don't feel like saying it. Lots going on in my mind. Don't want to say it. Mercury in Pisces, very daydreamy, more in your emotions and just like, what's the rush or what's the point? Do I have to say something? And it's in the 12th house, which is like you might not even be conscious that you're doing it, or it's a very daydreaming or like lucid dreams, dreams at night kind of placement. But it's opposing the moon. Mercury opposite the moon would expect, could there be some little frictions possibly? If there are, I would say just really try not to do much about it, because with all the 12th house energy of unconscious motivations, unconscious feelings, you might, as a moon in Virgo, you might point out the something to somebody and they're like, oh, okay. The moon in Virgo is going to get mad. It's like, why aren't you listening? I'm pointing out exactly the detail and exactly what's going on. Why aren't you acknowledging it? And all the Pisces is going, I think I'm spacing out right now. Uh, what'd you say? This is how it's going to be. So it's not a good time to bring up all the details with other people or get in. It's, well, you can try, but it's not a good time to push it or try to make people see your point of view or make people do things the right way. There's going to be a lot of people with mushy, foggy feelings and brain going on. The sun is also in Pisces, of course, and it's opposing the moon, as it always does during a full moon. Sun is always opposite the moon during a full moon, always. That in itself just tends to bring out intensity or opposing positions, opposing mindsets, sometimes conflicts. Then we've got Neptune joining it. Neptune is in Pisces and it's also opposing the moon. So you've got like 3 Piscean planets opposing the moon. People are just going to be avoidant, okay? I'll just say it. People, everyone's going to be a bit, they're going to want to chill. They're going to want to sleep. They might cancel plans with you. They might want to stay home. They might not explain why. Moon in Virgo will be very pissed off at this. Otherwise, the Moon in Virgo types, the people where the moon is really stimulating you, you might be on fire with your like, oh, great, today we're doing da 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 da. Oh my goodness, and I'm having an insight, and this is exactly why I used to do this and sabotage myself with my family, and this is why, and oh my goodness, all the dots and T's are crossed and everything is looking, oh, the healing, wow, what a release. And then the rest of us are going to be like, oh, I'm tired. I think I'm going to just have a drink and go home. So this is the opposition we're seeing. There are some planets in Aries as well, but they're also in the 12th house. Those people you want to be a little more careful of, even though there's not an opposition, but Jupiter, Chiron, and Venus in Aries. Yikes, watch out on the roads, man. Watch out on the road this moon. Pisces would either be like daydreaming or hopefully not driving while you're drinking or smoking something, but it could. It's got that sort of asleep at the wheel kind of feeling. Be careful of people just like being spaced out, not paying attention on the road or with equipment. And then the other thing is the Jupiter, Chiron, Venus, and Aries people will be the road ragers. Speeding, these are all metaphors, but it might actually play out on the driving because that's where so many things do play out. We see there's very few spaces that are not controlled by, conventions or rules. And somehow when we're driving our cars, we feel more free to just act on whatever energy we want. And so I think a lot of unconscious energy comes out driving around the highways. So just be careful. there could be some people with dealing with a lot of buried anger with all that Aries. There could be some people that are dealing with a lot of buried desire too, that such a strong willpower with all of that going on in Aries together. Desire with Venus, Jupiter and Venus together. Wow. But with Chiron. So it's like, I want you, but I can't have you. Oh, kind of energy. I want this so bad. Why is something blocking me? Chiron in Aries just means that you might not feel you deserve what you want, or yeah, and you've got to work on that so that you can feel confident that your desires will be fulfilled and that you can manifest them. And thus we go back to the moon in Virgo that needs to put everything down on paper and, talk to a lawyer or talk to the bank or whatever details you need to go over, whatever plan to make your desires real. The Virgo moon, even though it's aspecting in a sort of grinding type of way, Virgo moon is very good at seeing exactly what needs to be done and realistic about timelines, realistic about money, in a way that the other planets we're mentioning aren't. So if you're getting in touch with some of your core desires, you might want to sit down and write out a mission statement or a plan for how you're going to get it done. So the next thing we have is we've got our North Node in Taurus, getting closer to Uranus, still not quite there. Uranus is in the first house, so again, we might see some restless behavior. We might see some unpredictability, but we're used to this now. It's been around a while. It's just might be more apparent right now, but it's also helping out the moon. So for some of you, like I said, you're just going to be like popcorn, getting things done. Oh my goodness, the insights, the flashes, oh, I understand this. Oh my God, that book is perfect for me. I'm going to work out at the gym. Oh, I just found a new one. Oh, and the schedule is perfect, exactly like I wanted. All the details are falling into place. Uranus and Taurus, practicality meets like a bit of like time bomb factor, but it means like erratic, quick, whirlwind, sudden, but it might suddenly bring details together that are perfect for you. So I think for some of you, it's going to be a super productive new full moon, super productive. Others of you, like I said, you're just going to stay home and sleep, and want to just bury your head under the covers, just because you're just feeling mushy. Now, last thing, well, not the last thing, but we've got Mars, which leaves at the end of the month, in Gemini, and it's opposing, it is squaring the moon, and it is squaring that Mercury, Sun, Neptune. So again, Mars and Gemini, talk, multitasking, socializing, networking, saying what it thinks, doing, 15 things at once. It's going to aggravate both of those other planets. How so? Mars in Gemini is adding extra stuff for Moon in Virgo to manage. Moon in Virgo is like, oh, I just got the kitchen in order. It's perfect. Don't touch it. I went over everything. Oh, but I just bought this air fryer. Mars in Gemini says, oh, but it's really beautiful. It's cool. Moon in Virgo, did you think where it's going to fit in the kitchen? Well, no, I just liked it. I mean, we'll find a place somewhere. Moon in Virgo's like, you should have asked me because I know exactly where everything's going and there's space for it, or there isn't space for it. Now I have to start all over again. Mars and Gemini's, well, I didn't know. I just liked it. What's the big deal? Just shove it over there. So you might get a bit of that. So yeah, I have fun when I animate planets. I think I got to do more of this. Okay, how does Mars in Gemini aggravate Pisces? Well, with that one, it's almost like poking the bear. Mars and Gemini. Pisces, like, yeah, I'm sort of nonverbal today. I think I'm just gonna take a day of like, just gonna walk around. I might go sit somewhere. I don't know. I'm not sure, man. Not sure. Mars and Gemini. Well, you could do this or you could do that, or maybe this, or maybe you could call that person, or maybe, or at this time you could maybe flooding them with like ideas or plans or invitations. And Pisces is just like, stop talking, stop talking. I'm trying to process an overload, man. Don't add more to my overload. Whereas Gemini's, yeah, but it's so, right? So Mars and Gemini is just gonna stimulate everything that way. Now, end of the month, it's going to move into Cancer and it's going to be more compatible with this Piscean energy. So we're going to see some of that overstimulated mind, anxious mind stuff start to. And last but not least, we've got Pluto just hanging out up here, 29 degrees, 40 seconds, almost in Aquarius. End of the month as well, 25th of the month, it goes into Aquarius. Huge, 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 huge. I will be doing a workshop just on Pluto and Aquarius. What do I think is going to happen for that 20-year cycle, and where does it fit in your chart? And we'll go into a workshop in depth on that. For now, 29 degrees is always like a very important degree. It's where things catalyze, things happen. And it's at the top of the chart here in the 10th house. It's making a nice little angle over here to Neptune. Otherwise, that's it. So it's really just sort of sitting there poised, almost watching and waiting. Some of you might feel like that too. You're just watching and waiting. When can I make my move? When I'm feeling all these big changes are going to come. When? I'm waiting. So just sit tight. It's going to move into Aquarius. Saturn's in Pisces. Mars is going to move into Cancer. Whole game board's going to shift by the end of March. So let's take a look at our tarot for this cycle here. All righty. Here we go. While I'm shuffling, I will let you know that I'm going to do, starting to do 2 different workshops. One is an intuition circle, which I've done many of them over the years. So if you want to just drop in, I mean, it's not a course. You can drop into a circle. It doesn't matter what level you're at. I will give tips about trusting your intuition or opening them up with exercises. And then we go around and we do a circle and you get to ask a question. And everybody tunes into their intuition and answers your question, and everybody gets a turn. So that means everybody gets to practice doing a few readings. Trust your gut, and everybody gets the feedback of everyone in the group on a question. So I really love doing these circles because everybody feels very supported, and you start to trust your gut more because a bunch of other people are also tapping into the same question that the person asks. And a lot of the time you're going to align and pick up the very same thing that other people do. And that just affirms that you're right about your own intuition, which helps your own life. That's why I wrote a book on it. Second thing I'm going to do is a tarot circle. It's a similar thing, except this is for tarot enthusiasts. So everybody will have a chance to ask a question about their life, pull a card. Doesn't matter what deck, doesn't matter if you're new, just don't be reading off the book, like try to read your card as best you can. I'll give tips again about reading your cards, about 1-card readings. And then again, you're going to get like, if there's 8 people there, then 8 people pulled a card for your question. So you get a reading, but you also get to practice on your deck, and you get coaching tips from me, and you get a little 1-card reading from me, and you get my intuition on the intuition circle too. So I think it's good. So I'm going to put up the info in the bottom of the comments here if you want to sign up for my intuition circle or my tarot circle. And there will be many of them, and they're starting this spring, but there's going to be many of them. All right, let's take a look at our cards for this full warm moon coming tomorrow. All right. First card here is the Ten of Cups, a very Piscean card indeed. Yep. This card is Mars in Pisces. This card means, you might have a very nice, chilled out, blissful time amongst friends. You might be feeling that good vibe, even if you have like a foggy brain vibe, you might still be having a good time creatively bonding with people. Sometimes this card comes up because people are feeling mentally foggy and burnt out. So we just described that in the other reading, this just affirms it, the mentally mushy times ahead. Doesn't mean it has to be bad. The Priestess, lovely, love it. So basically, that means, again, really trusting your dream life, your inner life, your intuition. Meditate. Great moon for meditation. Great moon for meditation. Great moon for anything with your spiritual path. Trust your gut. Trust your dreams. Pull back. Go for a walk. Do something so you can get in touch with it and tap into it. There's messages coming through for you. Seven of Swords. You're going to be walking away or moving on from something. Sorry about this. We can't. It's too much light. Just see the cards properly, eh? Can you see? There we go. All right. So, yeah, the Seven of Swords, futility. You're probably about to get some sort of message or confirmation, whether it's just an inner knowing or something that you hear or observe, or you just get a gut feeling, but there's something where you're going to be ready to move or walk away or let go of something. Letting go is a big theme. The Six of Cups, pleasure, very nice. Again, like this might be a great weekend, a great time to get together with other people, because the Pisces just sort of melts everybody's resistance and boundaries, separateness away, and you, again, the oneness that we're looking for. But this is pleasure, so this might be a very pleasurable, fun gathering. Maybe you get together for music. Maybe you get together for a nice meal. You bring some friends together, but it's a very nice bonding. That could also be like sensual pleasure too. In that department, it could be good. Next card here is the Three of Pentacles, which is like work hard, get her done, full-time job, productivity. So you go from pleasure to work. That's great. You have a break, you get some insight, you let go, suddenly you feel wonderful, you feel connected, and you're working on something. See, I think the energy of March, even though everybody, including me, are sort of hyping up all of the planetary changes, honestly, I feel March is going to be good. March feels like a big door opens, like a big crack in the door just goes, eh. And all of a sudden, like, oh my gosh, I can suddenly just see so much more. I think March is going to be great. Just give it a chance. Look at that. Ace of Pentacles, a new project, a new job, money coming, friendships that are solid, very solid cards. Love it. Ha! Eight of Wands, traveling, adventuring, going for a day trip, going for a hike, walking around the city, wandering, being willing to meet new people, being willing to be spontaneous and do new things. Lovely. The Hangman. Why is he there? We were having a good time. some sort of sacrifices with the hangman, always slow, something that takes, painstakingly slow, and making sacrifices little by little. So we'll see how the last card plays out to finish this dialogue. But based on these cards here, it would seem that, there's a beautiful opening that happens and something new is set in motion. And then, as life is, we go back into something where if we want something badly enough, we're going to have to sacrifice and work towards it slowly. But we do get a nice little window, like a whoosh of nice energy coming in first. And our last card, the Lovers. Well, the Hangman and then the Lovers. So there might be some sort of delay or a bit of waiting or a bit of patience involved in some of the new partnerships, friendships, or even love relationships that pop into the woodwork here. But still, it's very good. It's very good. These are higher cards, like we have three major arcana. I really want to reassure everybody with all these planetary shifts. Don't be scared. We're entering something new. It doesn't mean it's bad. Everyone always like, it's going to change. It's going to be bad. It's going to be worse. No. It's going to open. It's going to open the door. It's going to open the mind. It's going to open for new things to come in that we're new doesn't mean bad all the time. It can leave room for things. Yeah, nothing's perfect. But if you don't make room in your closet, using the Virgo moon metaphor, if you don't make room in your closet, how are you going to ever find a nice brand new thing to wear? How are you ever going to buy anything new? If you're always bombarded with people, how are you going to meet anyone new for your love life? You're not. So we have to just be okay to let go of an old chapter. And it's really apparent that a chapter is ending. We have to just be okay to let go. A chapter's ending. It's all right. It's all right. Just turn the page. Let it be a chapter. Process it. Grieve it if you have to. Miss it if you want to. But it's sort of comforting to say, my life is in chapters. It's not just one long chapter that never ends. I can say, close the door, change the chapter. And March is a very much change the chapter month. It's going to be enlivening, I believe. So let's take a look at our messages for each sign. So I'm going to see like what chapter are you beginning? What's your next chapter going to look like? All right, so Aries, what is your chapter looking like? And this is talking about chapter in terms of like March, but also like, it's for this full moon. I would say, what chapter is March going to usher in for you? Yeah. All right. All right, Aries. So you've got the Princess of Cups as your new chapter. So your new chapter is actually going to usher in a time when you're willing and able to be a little more vulnerable. You're letting yourself be more sensitive. You are able to trust other people and let them in, be closer to them than usual. You let out your little girl or little boy side for people to see. It takes guts to do that. Everybody's so cynical and nervous right now. But if you're with safe people and you are letting yourself show that side of you, that's where the intimacy grows. That's where it's very nice. I think that's great. All right, Taurus, what chapter are you beginning? Taurus, you have the Death card. Well, and you have Uranus and North Node in the first house right now. So you're going to have a bit of a wake up call kind of chapter, something that comes along that you didn't expect. But The Death card always brings something better in its place quickly. So whatever you apparently seem to lose or didn't work, try not to freak out. Something better, even better than the first one. If it's a job that was all lined up and then it falls through, there's a better job that comes through quickly. So there's a reversal. It's a reversal kind of feeling. So whatever you're counting on now, I've got to tell you, something is going to pull the rug, but something else is going to come in that replaces it that's even better. Gemini, what chapter are you in this month? Love card. Love. Two of Cups. So for those of you in couples, it should be a nice romantic month, or to reheat the oven. Lots of affection, maybe some thoughtful gestures. It's almost more like Valentine's Day. It comes in March for you. Those of you that are single, love is in the air. You might find yourself more attracted and attractive. So yeah, like a spring fever with love coming early to you. That's pretty sweet. All right, Cancers, what is your month about? Your chapter. Ah, very nice. Okay, 4 of Discs. So very solid, solidifying, secure, securing foundations, building something. Routines is another part of that. Routines and rituals, not like magic rituals. I'm talking about ritual brushing your teeth in the morning. Good time for you to reconfigure your space, your routines, your budget. This is a Capricorn card. So whatever will make you more strong and solid, even if it means you cannot do or say yes to everything or everyone, you have to focus on what would give you the most strong foundation and do that. So that's a very good thing. Leos, your next chapter is the 6 of Swords. It's about science and precision, analysis. Sometimes it refers to small surgeries or minor surgeries. If that's not medical, that can be a minor surgery in other ways mentally with your life. It's really a card of dissecting the little details, even more than the Virgo moon. So again, if you have to turn your attention to something that requires precision right now, then it's a good time for you to dive in and do it. You know, be very, very, very precise about what you want and how it's going to be done procedurally. Or if it's even just about what you want out of life, just be very, very precise and particular and write it down. Virgos, the full moon might really activate you since it's the full moon. What's it about for you? It's the 5 of Wands. Got to be careful of arguments or fights, anger, getting angry about stuff. As we mentioned in the first reading, the Virgo moon is just so on top of things, and everybody else is going to be sort of woozy and spaced out, or, seeming like they're drunk or high. So you might be getting frustrated with that. Also, though, if there's been things that you feel are overdue that you feel need to end, you might be ready to do that. You might, I don't know, if it's like a bad date, maybe you're going to block them finally. If it's a customer that's just annoying you and there's no resolution, you might just say, this isn't working. Some of you might have some rip roaring fights, but hopefully not. So just it's going to emphasize your need for everything to be perfect. So just be careful of that you don't want to get into too many melodramas over anything like that. All right, Libras. Oh, we got another 5. 5 of Cups. Well, it's emotional disappointments. So your new chapter for now is that you probably have to admit that you are disappointed in certain situations or people, and you probably need to pull back or detach from them. Realize that, as this card shows, the cups are not full, the cups are empty, and stop trying to fill them up or stop trying to hope for things to be different. Yeah. Well, even though that's not as fun of a message, I think with Libra, there's always relational things that are up in the air that need to be settled and moved on from. So it looks like something will force you to do that. Scorpios. What's your chapter about? 7 of Discs. So it's not an easy card either. Your chapter for March has to do a lot with, well, ultimately this is about values. What are your values? What is worth what to you? But it's also a card talking about money. Sometimes money can be a bit tight, expenses that come up that, tighten the purse strings. But sometimes 7 of Discs can be about um, feeling depressed and not sure if you can trust people. So hopefully nothing comes along or no one comes along that shows that you can't trust them. Because for Scorpio, that is not nice. That is really one of the worst things that you can go through. Now, is there a positive way to spin this? No, I get a feeling still that you're rooting out in your life who you can and can't trust, where you can and can't put your money. You're rooting things out. Yeah. All right, Sagittarius. Ooh, happy card. Got the 9 of Cups. Celebration, party, gatherings, good food, music, sharing, openness, possible love connections, but not clearly just one, like possibilities. Friends old and new. It's lovely. You're gonna have a lovely time this March. All right, Capricorn. King of Wands. Well, your chapter, this could be a guy, or this could be your own will. Usually this is about connecting to your own strong willpower. Are you feeling tired? Do you give up just before you finish? Do you have it in you to keep pushing towards something that you want? You have to get in touch with your willpower. Otherwise, if this is about a guy, he might swoop in and he's got strong will and he could dominate everything. It doesn't have to be a he either. Um, it can also be that somebody around you is lacking that and it's bothering you. But it's the core word is the willpower. And you also might be finding your willpower is quite strong. So yeah, I'm trying to get a sense for you better than that. What is this month about, March, for Capricorn? Yeah, I'm still thinking that there's still a sluggish feeling. It feels to me like almost someone who's like, just get up, get off the couch, just do it, get up. It's the feeling I get. Wake up, sleepyhead kind of feeling. So whether that's your will or someone else's, or you're the one who's waking up the, sleepyhead. Okay, Aquarius, what is your message? We have the Chariot. There's some obstacles you're dealing with the Chariot. Consolidating a bunch of people to be on the same page to get something done, whether that's at work, whether that's family, whether that's your community. So for you, March is, it's well, Pluto's going to enter your sign. Saturn's leaving it, goes into Pisces. You might find that it's harder to get people to be on board and motivated because of all this Pisces. So you might feel like it's extra hard, or you're trying extra hard to bring people together to coordinate something this month. But it's okay, keep doing it. They need you to do it. And last but not least, Pisces. And we bring back the Ace of Discs. So for you, it's going to feel very good, very solid. Like I said, this card is either new jobs, new projects, new money coming in, solid friendships or relations that come in that are helpful to you. So you're feeling quite good, quite grounded, actually. March is going to be lovely for you. And happy birthday to all of my Piscean followers. All right. So if you want to sign up for my tarot circle or my intuition circle, just message me either from the comments or from Facebook page. And if you're looking also to, if you're interested in the astrology, I will do that towards the end of the month with Pluto as it shifts. I'll do another workshop and check where your transits are, go more in detail just for Pluto. And if you wanted to look at where all of these astrology transits are hitting your chart, as I did in my astrology for the New World workshop, then I'm happy to do that for you as well and let you know what your transits are. So just message me and we can set up those sessions. All right. Happy full moon, everybody.